All right, hello, hello everyone. Can you guys hear me? Okay? Can somebody please tell me if you can hear me okay or not? So I see a lot of people are already in the chat today. Very good. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for coming. Julian says hi. Hey Julian, very nice to see you back again. Melinda is here today. Jacqueline is also back, and Victor and Paolo, and I think I saw Rosa's name somewhere, and JB and Patricia. And there's Judith Fedge. Yeah, lots of familiar faces and a couple of new people here. So very excited to have the new people. Thank you for showing up today. So yeah, so just the volume is a little low. Somebody's saying the volume is a little low, but I can manage. I don't know why the volume is low. My mic is set on high. Let's try. Okay, if I is this better? Can you hear me better now? Garima says good evening. Good evening, Garima. Very nice of you to come. Thank you very, very much. So JB, I moved the mic a little bit, so I don't know if it sounds better or not. Is anybody else having problems listening to my voice? Julian says the volume was low, so it's not anymore. Is it okay now? I don't know why the volume is low. My mic is set on high. Hello, 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 hello. Patricia says the volume is okay. Garima says no. Yeah, I don't know. It's everything looks fine from my end, you guys. I don't know why you think that slow. Melinda is also here today, and Carlos is here. Rosa, hi Rosa, very nice to see you. Thank you for coming. JB's asking, Karim, is Arabic your native language? It's one of them. I would say I have two native languages really. So. English and Arabic, right? So I've been speaking English and Arabic basically since I started talking. So, but yes, Arabic is one of my native languages. All right, Judith says that she has sound and picture now, which is good. Okay, so hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you are in the world. Today is Wednesday again, so time for our class. And today is September the 13th, 2017. And I am streaming to you from our studio here in Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. So for the new guys in the class, my name is Karim. I'm a teacher here at CCEL in Canada, in Vancouver. I've been teaching and using the Smrt system for about 5 years now. I also teach a little bit in the college. And if you don't know, excuse me, if you don't know, I also have another YouTube channel on YouTube that you can check out, and you will find the links for that channel in the description of this video. But this is it. This is how it looks like. It's called Food AF, right? So Food AF, and it's a channel about food, right? So if you like food and you like eating food, like 99% of the people of the world, please come and check out my other YouTube channel, right? It's also a good way to practice listening to English, right? So I talk in English over there, so you can go and listen to me. My Facebook is Karim Smrt Live. So is my Instagram, and so is my Twitter, right? And YouTube, of course, you guys should know what it is. It's the same page that you're watching this stream on, which is also Smrt English with Karim. So thank you for joining my class. And I can see that our subscriber numbers have jumped to 176. So awesome. You guys are great. Thank you for that so much. Julian says it's the afternoon in Vegas now. Oh, I didn't know that you were in Vegas, Julian. I like Vegas. Vegas is a cool city. I've been there once, and it's I really enjoyed it. So subscribers are up to 176, and remember we wanted to beat Sean. So Sean is also increasingly getting more subscribers. So we need to pick up the pace here, right? I want to pass Sean's subscriber number so we can beat him. All right, so Julian says I'm going to add you on Facebook, Karim. Please do. You are very welcome to do that. Let's see, what are we doing today? So, all right. So last week, you guys, we were doing grammar, and we were doing present simple and present continuous. We only had enough time to do the present simple last week, so I am going to continue this week with the present continuous. So before we begin, Julian says 98 more until we beat Sean. Yes, let's beat Sean, please. Right? Come and join my tribe, so we can show Sean. All right. So let's see. So last week we were talking about present simple, and I'm just going to very briefly go over it. I'm not going to explain it again, but we talked about the form, right? We talked a little bit about the spelling rules, and I'm sure that you guys know these rules. And then we talked about what do we use the present simple for, right? We use it to talk about to express, right, that something or an action is usually repeated or usual, right? That means it happens quite often. The action can be a habit, a hobby, or a daily event, or even if it's something that you do every year, right? Just one time, but you always do it every year, right? So you can use it also for that. We talked that we can also use it for facts or generalizations, right? So things that are true or things that most people assume to be true, right? Or most people think that they are true. So things like cats like milk, right? Or birds do not like milk. So JB is saying a fact, a habit, and a routine. Yes, right? Just like that, exactly. We also use it for scheduled events in the near future, right? So for example, the train leaves tonight at 6, right? So in the near future. And then we briefly talked about some adverbs, or where we put the adverbs in the sentence. And if you guys remember, usually the adverb comes before the main verb, unless there is the verb to be. If there is the verb to be, we say it after the verb to be, right? So just like here, you only speak English, or if there's the verb to be, he is always late. Okay, so let me just take myself out of the screen like so, and let's continue now today with the present continuous. Rosa is asking, where is Sean? Sean is super busy. He's here. Sean is here, but he's just he's very busy these days, right? Because we just started a new semester of college, and we just started a lot of new programs in the college. So Sean has been very busy lately. He he wants to come back, I'm sure, because streaming is kind of nice actually. But yeah, he's really busy. JB is giving an example for the present simple, right? So JB is saying the planet revolves around the sun. I get up at 8 in the morning. I always pace around my table when I am anxious. Excellent sentences. Yes, all of these are correct. Very good. All right, so let's actually begin this week's topic, right? So we are going to be talking about the present continuous. And like last week, I'm going to start with the form. So the form, usually when we see the word continuous, right, when we're talking about grammar in English, that means that you're probably going to see ing, right? So if you notice, all of these sentences have a verb with ing, right? So we're talking about the present, right? So the now, right? So the present continuous. So let's take a look at some forms. In positive sentences, you might say things like, I am sleeping, right? I am sleeping. So right now, right, I'm sleeping. I am not sleeping, of course, is the negative. Very simple. We just add not as usual. And the questions, again, we use inversion. That means you start with your, you start with the verb to be, or you start the question with an auxiliary verb, right? So am I sleeping? You are sleeping, you are not sleeping, are you sleeping? He is sleeping, he is not sleeping, is he sleeping? Now keep in mind, when you say sentences like this or ask a question in the present continuous, you are asking about something that is happening at the moment that you are talking, right? So you're asking if things are happening, or you're saying that things are happening or not happening now, right? So right now. All right, Rosa's asking, are we going to see Sean again? Yes, you are, right? I don't promise that you will, but he said that, yeah, he's going to be back, right? So you should see Sean at some point. Patricia says, every Wednesday I go to bed late because of because of Karim's class. Yes, if you are just telling me that, I'm very sorry and thank you at the same time. Or if you were trying to make an example for the present simple, then that was a good example. So Julian says, can we say, have you been sleeping? Yes, but that's a little bit of a different tense, right? Or a different structure. But today we're looking at this, right? So today, very simple. She is sleeping, right? So you're starting with your subject and then the verb to be and then your verb and ing, right? And that's it. Negative, you just add not, of course, in the sentence. And like you guys know, questions, you start with your verb to be to ask a question. Okay, so let's carry on. So we said actions happening now. Actions that are happening or they're going on right now, right? So we use the present continuous to express the idea that something is happening now, at this very moment, the same time that you are speaking in, right? So at the same moment that you guys are speaking. So for example, you are not swimming now, right now, right? If I'm talking to you and you're standing in front of me, so you're not swimming because you're standing right here now. So I would say you are not swimming now, right? So right now. Are you sleeping? Now, this one is a little bit unusual, right? Because sometimes maybe you're sleeping and somebody calls you and they're like, are you sleeping? Well, I'm not anymore because I'm talking to you, right? So, but most people, sometimes people say, yes, I'm sleeping, right? Even when they're talking to you. But you'll see why in a little bit further down the lesson, right? I am sitting. So right now, talking to you guys in the stream, I am sitting, right? So right now, this very, very moment, at the same time that I am speaking, I am also sitting. You are learning English now. So all of you guys are listening to me, and you are learning English right now. I am not standing. That is also true, right? So I am sitting. I am not standing right now, right? So that's the important part here, to remember that you're always talking about now, right? Most of the time. Is he sitting or standing? So in this case, it's a question. Is he sitting right now or standing right now? JB says, we are watching Karim's class. Very good sentence. We are learning English. Yes, very, very, very good sentences. That's exactly what we're talking about today. They are not watching television. They are not watching television. Again, right now, they are not watching television. They are reading their books right now. What are you doing? So this might be a very common question that you guys know, right? So what are you doing? Again, when you say that, you mean now, right? So not in general, because you know how we have this in English, sometimes you say, what do you do? And that's a different thing, right? So when you say to somebody, what do you do? That means, what is your job, right? What do you do to survive? What do you do to live? What do you do to make money? But this is very different from what you are doing, right? If you ask somebody what you are doing or what are you doing, they will tell you what are they doing now, right? Not what they do for their job. Why aren't you doing your homework? This is a sentence that I have a lot of experience with. Why aren't you doing your homework? Again, right now, right? So why are you not doing your homework right now? I can see that, yeah, a lot of you are writing some examples here in the chat, which is very good. All you guys are participating and you're all active, which makes me happy. Very good. Julian says slang for what are you doing is with or WYD. You know, I actually don't know that, but that's it's. I wouldn't say it's slang. I would say it's an abbreviation for it. You know, like when you say for example BRB, which means I will be right back. BRB. What are you doing? But that's interesting. I've never heard of that. I'm actually curious to find out. So let's say, what are you doing? Slang. Let's check out the Urban Dictionary. Let's see what this says. What you gonna do? Huh. I don't think it's slang for it. So yeah, it's probably just an abbreviation, right? So if I say, what does WYD mean? And there you go. What you doing? Very good. Cool. What you doing, or what you doing? Yes, right. So these are slangy ways of saying what are you doing, right? Whatcha, or what you doing without the verb to be, right? Of course, grammatically it's not technically correct, but yes, a lot of people definitely say that, right? Yes, Melinda says it's an abbreviation. Yes, this is that's what I would say, right? An abbreviation or an acronym, right? So it's an acronym or an abbreviation. Both would work just fine. Okay, cool. Let's go back. So we talked about actions happening right now, right? Or of course, actions that are not happening right now, or when you ask a question about something that is happening right now. Okay, now I've been focusing a lot on now, and I've been saying right now all this time. Now let's take a look at a little bit of a different use. Melinda says it's an abbreviation. Yes, it's an abbreviation. Yeah, JB is adding another slang in there, but yeah, so let's not get railed out of track now, so just so people don't get confused. So let's get back to the present continuous. So now the next part that I'm going to talk about is when we use the present continuous to talk about something, or when you want to say that in the middle, that you are in the middle, or someone is in the middle of doing something. So what do we mean by that? So let's take a look. It says sometimes the action is not happening at the moment of speaking, but the present continuous is still used to mean that the speaker is in the middle of doing it, but they're not finished yet, right? So I started to do an action, I did not finish it, and then I'm talking about what I'm doing right now, or not right now, that I'm in the middle of it, right? And it's still not finished. Let's take a look at some examples, because the examples will make this a little bit clearer. So it says here, so you can see this guy, he looks like a medical student. You know, he looks to be in a hospital with a pad, and he's wearing the medical clothes and everything. And the sentence says, I am studying to become a doctor. I'm studying to become a doctor. Now, he's not studying right now, at the moment that he's talking to you. So ignore this picture, for example, and imagine that I am sitting with this man here, right? So I'm sitting with this person at a cafe, right? So him and I, we are friends, for example, or we just met or something, and we're just sitting down and we're having a cup of coffee, right? So we're not in the hospital. He's not wearing his hospital clothes. He's not studying right now. He's just sitting, drinking a coffee. And we're talking to each other, and I ask him, so what do you do, right? And then he says to me, I am studying to become a doctor. So when he says that, right now he's sitting in a coffee shop. He's drinking coffee and he's talking to me. So he's not studying at the moment that he's talking about it, but he's trying to say that I'm in the middle of doing something that is not finished yet. So let's say, for example, he's going to be studying for 2 years or 3 years, and I'm talking to him in his second year. He will say something like this, I am studying to become a doctor, right? So this is what we mean when we say that you are in the middle of doing something, right? So remember, it's an action that is not necessarily happening right now, but we use just to give you the impression that we are in the middle of an action that is taking some time, right, to happen. So this girl here is sitting, she's holding a book, JB says the person is in the process or in the journey of doing something. Yes, that's a very good way to explain it, right? You are in the process, right? You're not finished yet. You still have some time before the action that you're talking about is finished or it's complete. JB says, I have been studying English for 1 year. That's a correct sentence, but this is not the tense that we are talking about today, right? Garima says, it means currently he is pursuing medical studies. Yes, right? That's it, right? So you're in the process of doing something. You're not finished, but you're still doing it. No, Windows wants me to restart. No, thank you. Okay, so it says, let's take a look at the second picture. So the second picture, we have this girl or woman or lady, and she is sitting on a couch and she's reading a book. Now she's saying, I am reading a really interesting book these days. Notice that she says these days. I'm not, these pictures might be a little bit confusing because you can see them doing the action, and that's not really what we want to explain, right? So imagine she went to the library last week and she bought a book, or she borrowed a book from the library, and she started reading it, and now it's the second week, but she's still not finished yet, right? Maybe she just read half the book or a quarter of the book. You can still use this sentence, right? So if somebody asks you, so what are you doing these days? You can say, well, I am reading a really interesting book these days, right? So again, she doesn't have to be holding the book in her hand or sitting reading it when she says this. She could be outside in a coffee shop, or she could be taking a walk in the park, or she could be sitting on a beach. She could be not even touching the book at all, right? But she just means that she's in the process of reading this book right now, right? She's in the middle of it and she's not finished yet, but she's doing it. All right, let's take a look at the last example here. It says Samantha, so this girl is Samantha, is studying at university. Samantha is studying at university. So again, she doesn't have to be at university right now, and she doesn't have to be studying right now the second that she's telling you this sentence. She could be sitting in a park, like this picture, for example. Right? And you're having a conversation with her, and you're talking about yourselves, you're introducing yourselves, and then she might say something like, hey, I am studying at university at the moment. Not right now that she's speaking, she just means she's in the process of doing this thing, right? Which in this case is studying at university. I hope that is clear, but I think most of you got it, especially from the examples that you guys are writing and from many people talking about you're in the process of doing something. So that's very good. Okay, so far we talked about the very common way that most people use the present continuous is when actions are happening at the moment that you are talking. So like right now, I am teaching or I am streaming live. The other use is in the middle of doing something, right? So if you are in the middle of doing something, in the process of doing something, you're not complete yet, you're not finished yet, but you are still doing it. We use it that way. Now, the other use now that we want to talk about is for longer actions around now. Longer actions around now. Julian says, Sean is at the process of getting hard work done so he can do live streams. Yes, I would just make a small correction. I would say Sean is in the process, right? So the preposition that you want to use is in, not at, Julian. But that's a good sentence, yes. I like how you guys always make sentences that are related to the things that we are doing or to the people that we know. It makes it relevant, and it makes it very cool. I like that. That's good. All right, so let's talk about the third use now that we're coming across. So the third use is longer actions around now. Longer actions around now. So the present continuous can be used with the words today, this week, this month, this year, right? Or anything like that, right? This century, this decade. So a decade is 10 years, and a century is 100 years, or this millennium, which is 1,000 years, right? You can use all of these things with the present continuous. So let's take a look at the pictures. So we have this guy here, he's standing and he has an open sign and it says, I'm having a good month this month. I'm making lots of sales. I'm having a good month this month. So notice we said longer actions around now. Now, what do we mean by around? Around means just in the general area of the time period that you are talking about. So, for example, so I don't know, imagine that we have, imagine that, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but imagine we have this timeline, right? So if this is my timeline, and this is the point that you're talking about, when we say longer actions around now just means in the general area, right, of the point in time that you are talking about. So in this case, today, or this week, or this month. So in this example, this guy's talking about this month, right? So I'm having a good month this month. So when we say around now, that's the area that he's talking in, right? He's talking around the area of this month. Not the whole year, right? Because in his example, he said this month. Let's take a look at the other one. He says, he's coughing a lot lately. He must be sick. He is coughing a lot lately. So he might have been sick for 2-3 days, and he is still sick, and you are probably expecting him to be sick maybe another few days, right? So again, right? So around this area, right? He's coughing a lot today. Or, oh, sorry, in this case, they said today, right? So maybe he started getting sick in the morning, he's still sick now, and he's probably going to be sick later in the day, right? At night. Julian is saying Karim is in the process of beating Sean's subs. We are in the process. I cannot do this without you guys. So yes, we are in the process of crushing Sean's sub numbers. JB says, I am reading a lot these days. Yes, very good. That's an excellent way to use this, like the way that we were talking about right now. Yes, I am reading a lot these days. And then he explains in an extended, right, time frame, or a little bit of a larger, right, time frame. Yes, very good. That's great. I'm happy that you guys are picking it up. Oh, sorry, Melinda has a question. She says, can we say I am studying English for 1 year? As Patricia mentioned above. Patricia mentioned above. I think I missed that. Patricia says, I am studying English. Yes, you can. You can say, I am studying English for 1 year. Yep, nothing wrong with that. But remember, that means you are in the process of saying that. So you probably started already and you're not finished yet, right? JB says, I am working a lot this summer. We are studying often this winter. Yes, very good. Melinda says, no, Paulo, it also means she is still in the process. What did Paulo say? Paulo says, I don't think so, Melinda, because for 1 year in mein constant means that she is finished. Actually, yes. So Melinda is right, Paulo, right? You cannot really say that she finished. It doesn't mean that she finished her studies, right? So if you say, if she finished studying, you would say, I studied, right? I studied. Or I have studied, or something like that. All right, great. I think I answered everybody's questions. Cool. All right, so let's carry on. I think this is the last point for today. Oh no, there's a little bit more stuff. So let's see. So changes happening around now. So remember, we said about longer actions, right? So something that's going to take you some time to finish, right? Like studying in university, for example, right? Like this guy, I am studying to become a doctor. But this one, Longer actions around now, right? So like we said, right? Like this guy here. I'm having a good month this month. He's coughing a lot today. He must be sick. Now, we also use it for changes that are happening around now. So the present continuous, it says here, can describe things that are changing around now, right? So again, like I said, around is, if you imagine this dot to be the point in time that you are in right now, around just very simply means, right, I can't see where I'm pointing. Around just very simply means, right, in the general area of the time that you're talking about right now. So this is especially true when you are describing changes using the following verbs. So one more time, it says this is especially true, right? That means this is, you can really see this clearly when we use, or when you are trying to describe the change that is happening using these verbs. So the verb increase, to increase, right? It means to become more. To rise, right? Similar to increase a little bit. To fall, the opposite of increase, right? Improve, begin, start, change, become or get, and grow. Paulo says, I got it. Yes, very good. All right, let's carry on. So let's see how we use these words to describe changes that are happening around now, right? The point of time that you are talking about. So this guy says, have you seen gas prices recently? Prices are really rising, right? So remember, changes that are happening around now. Because when you say they are rising, that means the price doesn't, it keeps changing, right? So there is a change that's happening. So have you seen gas prices recently? Yes, prices are really rising. I love this time of year. Julian is saying rise, to raise stuff into the air. Not exactly. So rise that we're using in the example that I just gave, rising, for example, like temperature. Temperature rises, right? And falls or drops. Prices rise or drop. Interest, for example, interest percentage rates, they rise, right, and they drop. Value of things rise and they drop. That's the meaning that we're going for rise here, not the other one. Karim's subs, yes, but you want to say Karim's with an apostrophe S for possession. Karim's subs are rising, right? Because there's subs. There's more than one of you guys. Okay, last sentence here, it says your English is really getting better, right? It's not staying the same, it's getting better. So I just want you to notice, why did we say changes, right? Because when you read these sentences, you should understand that something is not staying the same. Something is changing, right? So here, I love this time of the year. Flowers are growing. So again, if flowers grow, they don't stay the same, right? So they start as a small bud, and then they start to grow, and then they bloom, right? So there's changes happening. And birds are singing. I hope that that was clear. Yes, JB is talking about something that I will not talk about now, just because I don't want to confuse everybody, but you're on the right track there, JB. Okay, quick recap. So, like we said, we use it for actions that are happening right now, right? So this is the very simple way to use it that most people know very well. And we also use it to describe an action that is happening in the middle, right? So in the process, you're in the process of doing something. It's not finished yet, like the example that we gave with the doctor here, or this medical student. I'm studying, to become a doctor. He's not finished yet, but he already started. Longer actions around now, right? Like he's coughing a lot today, he must be sick. Or changes. And remember, changes you can tell, right? Or you can sort of guess or get a good hint if you see any of these words. and that it always expresses that something is changing, right? Something is not staying the same. What else do we have? Patricia says, my English is getting better with Karim's classes. Thank you so much, Patricia. This is what I live for, right? This is what makes me happy. If I can help somebody out in understanding English, that makes my day. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see what else do we have. So, sure plans about the future. So sure, right? That means not maybe, right? Sure means certain, right? So when you are certain, you know that something is going to happen, right? You're not going to guess or see what's going to happen. You know it's going to happen, right? You're sure. So speakers often use the present continuous to describe future plans. And please note the word plans. Because it's a plan, that's why you are sure, right? The use of the present continuous means that they are sure their future plans will happen, right? So there's no guessing. You know it's going to happen. That's why you are sure. So let's see. So remember, we use the present continuous to talk about future plans in the future, right? So not now, in the future. So let's see. It says, I am meeting some friends after work. I am meeting some friends after work. So right now, you are at work. You're working. Let's say, for example, that it's 2 p.m. and you finish work at 5. So you still have 3 hours, but you know you have a plan, right? You talked to your friends earlier, and you guys have a plan to meet at, let's say, 6 o'clock, for example, somewhere, right? In a cafe or in a cinema or a restaurant or whatever, right? So it's very normal and it's very common to say, I am meeting some friends after work. That's it. So that's why we use this in the future, because of the reason that it's a sure plan, right? So we say, I'm meeting some friends after work. So for example, after I finish my streaming today, I am going home, right? So I know this. My plan is after I finish streaming, I am going home. So it's a plan, right? So I'm not doing it now. I'm going to do it after about, I don't know, maybe another half an hour or 40 minutes. So I am going home. Oh man, Julian is cracking me up today. Julian says Karim's plan is to beat Sean's subscriber count. Yes, that is my plan, with your help. Okay, so it says, let's look at the other example. It says, I am not going to the party tonight. I am not going to the party tonight. Same thing, right? It could be in the afternoon now, or lunchtime, or 2 or 3 or whatever, and you know, right? 100% fact, you know that you are not going to the party. So you can say that. You can say, I am not going to the party tonight. Is he visiting his parents next weekend? No problem to do it with a question, right? You know why? Because you're asking about a plan, right? So don't get confused just because it's a question. So you're saying, how is this, where's the plan? Well, you're asking if they planned to do that, right? So you're asking if they have a plan. So that's why we do it in the same way, right? So we say, is he visiting his parents next weekend? It doesn't matter if he says yes or no, because you are asking about a plan. If he doesn't have one, then it's simple. He will just say no, right? And that's it. Okay. What does it say? I'm going to see the doctor tomorrow. Yes, that's a good example. Rosa, Melinda says, I'm going to the lab tomorrow. Yes, very well done. JB says, I am rewatching this video later. I am showering tonight. Karim is surpassing Sean's subscriber count by January. I would agree to the first 2, but the last one, well, I don't know. Are we sure? I think that will make us very, very arrogant, and I don't want to be arrogant, but I definitely want to win. So yeah, unfortunately I cannot say the last one is correct, but I wish that it was. Yeah, very good. Okay. Ooh, JB says we might beat Sean's subscriber number even earlier. That would be nice. But remember, Sean also keeps rising, right? That's the problem. We need to pass him at some point, and then keep the gap. All right, let's see what else we have. And the last one is another example of a question, right? So, isn't he coming? Isn't he coming with us tonight? And of course, remember, we say isn't he because this is the contracted form. If we write it in the full form, we would say, is he not coming, right? So don't forget that little thing, right? We're only saying isn't because it's contracted. If I have to write the full form, then he, right, the pronoun will go before the not, right? So is he not coming with us tonight? Okay, so I hope that that one is also clear. Patricia says, I am not going to give up learning English. Yes, you should never give up learning English. English is great, right? When you know English, you become part of 95% of the world, basically, which is nice, right? You don't want to miss out on the world. So definitely don't give up. And that is a good sentence, by the way, Patricia. I'm going to watch all of Smrt classes. Very well done. Yeah, you guys are doing great today. You guys always do great. I'm never surprised by how awesome you guys are. I expect it now. Okay, let's look at this last. I think this is the last part. Okay, so it says adverb placement. So adverbs, you guys should know what an adverb is. You know, I always get surprised when students in class sometimes they ask me, what is an adverb? Because to me, I think an adverb is easier to remember than an adjective, right? Because adjectives describe nouns and adverbs describe verbs. But I think it's easier because the word verb is right there, right? You can see it. It tells you what it does. But so I'm always amazed or surprised when people forget which one is an adverb, but they know and they remember adjective. So yeah, some funny little things that happen in class with me. Let's see. So I think Paolo's asking a question about, what are you saying? So Paolo's saying, is it important to use time phrases like tonight or next Monday or etc. to make sure that we emphasize the future in a sentence? Yes, unless the person that you are talking to understands what the time frame you're talking about is without you telling him, right? So unless the person knows what time frame you're talking about, then yeah, you have to sort of say it, right? So people know what you're talking about. But not if the person already knows, right? So so for example, let's say me and my friend, we are going to a party tonight, and we both know that we're going to a party tonight, and we're sitting at his house, and he's getting ready, and it's getting a little bit late, so I can look at him and say, hey, are we going? I don't have to say tonight or to the party or whatever, right? He knows what I'm talking about, so I don't have to specify it to him. I hope that makes it clear. Garima says, isn't he coming with us tonight? Is he not coming with us tonight? He says, I'm not able to find out a sure plan. Yes, so this is what I talked about. Don't get confused by the question form, right? The question form, think of it this way. You are asking about a plan, right? So usually in a positive sentence or a negative sentence, we say it because we know what our plan is. But if you're saying it in a question form, you yourself, you're asking about the plan. You don't know if he has a plan or not, but you're asking him, do you have a plan? And because of that, that's why we use the same tense. I hope it's clear. Okay. Whoa! My pen flew out of the screen. But it's okay. Okay. All right, so adverb placement. Let's talk about the adverbs. So the examples below show the placement for grammar adverbs such as only, currently, right? Currently is very simply, it's currently means what's happening now, right? So something now, currently, right? So for example, I am currently streaming this video, right? So now. or a recent short period of time, right? So currently might mean right now, or a very recent short period of time. Still, just, and etc., right? So any word that sort of fits into these, right? So again, the adverb, so very similar when we talked last week. Remember when we talked in the previous lesson about the present simple, right? We had also some of these adverbs. Where did they go? There we go, right? So we had these adverbs last week. We talked about them, and we said that usually the adverb comes before the main verb of the sentence, except if you have the verb to be, right? So if you have the verb to be, then the adverb comes after it. So this is exactly the same. There's no difference to these rules, right? So we're saying the same rules. Julian, I'm currently watching Karim's class. Yes, very good. So same thing again for the present continuous, right? So if you see any of these adverbs, the adverb usually goes before the main verb, right? So it just says, I'm just watching TV. I am just watching TV. Are you still watching TV? Are you still watching TV? He is only playing games. He is only playing games. And that's it, right? So just a small rule about the adverbs at the end here, right? We usually put the adverbs before the main verb of your sentence. So watching was the main verb in the first one. That's why we said, I'm just watching TV, right? And just is another way, it's similar to only, right? If somebody is like, hey, what are you doing? I'm only watching TV. I'm just watching TV. Are you still watching TV? You did not finish yet, right? Are you still watching TV? He is only playing games. He is only playing games. JB says, we are currently learning English. Yes, that is a good sentence. JB also says, I am still perfecting my English grammar. Excellent, right? That's, yeah, that's a good way to use still in a sentence like that. Very, very good. All right, great, you guys. Wow, time, I'm surprised. I felt like the lesson passed quick today, but it's almost been one hour. All right, so good. We're done with the lesson. I'm just going to give a very, very quick recap one more time to the things that we talked about today. So today we did the present continuous and some examples of the form. I'll leave this page up for you guys here, and you can pause the screen or look at it later whenever you want. Karim's channel is still growing. Yes, very good. Are you still keeping my book? Yes. Then Sean. Then Sean. Okay. Yeah, very good. Very good. You guys are doing a good job in there. Okay, so quick recap, right? So here's the form. Positive sentences. We are sleeping. We are sleeping. We are not sleeping. Are we sleeping? Right? So this is the very basic form that I know all of you guys know it. I've seen a lot of excellent sentences today in the chat. Very good. So first use is the most common use for present continuous, and that is usually when we use it to express that an action is happening right now, right? So the moment that we are talking, right? The action is also happening at the same time that we are talking. So for example, I am sitting, like right now, I am sitting, right? I am teaching, I am streaming, you are watching, right? Just like that. So things that are happening right now, at the moment of speaking. In the middle of doing something, remember, this is the one when we said that, yes, something usually takes a little bit of time, an extended period of time, a long time, like going to university or maybe reading a book or something like that. And you are in the middle of it. You're not finished yet. So you are in the process. Somebody earlier in the chat said you are in the process of doing something, and that was a very good way to describe it. So for example, like the doctor example, right? I am studying medicine, or I am studying to become a doctor. That doesn't mean right now, in this very moment. It just means I'm in the middle of the process, right, of going through university, right? And I'm not finished yet. So what are you doing right now? Oh, I'm studying medicine. Not right now, just in the middle, right? In the process of doing the action. It's not finished yet. You got don't start talking about the cooking channel yet, right? You can talk. We can talk about it at the end. Let's not get off track. But thank you. I'm happy that you guys are interested in my other channel too. That makes all the effort that I put into it worth it. Okay, the other use that we talked about today is longer actions around now. So similar to the one above, right? Longer actions around the time period that you're talking about. I'm having a good month. He's coughing a lot today. He must be sick. Changes, and remember the word changes, right? So changes, using the words increase or rise or fall or improve or begin or start, change, become, get, and grow, right? So when you use these words, right, in the present continuous, usually there is something that is not staying the same way, right? So there's an action happening, but there's also change in an action. So prices are rising, right? It's not staying the same, it keeps rising, right? And that's what it is. And then the last thing, I think this was the last thing, yep, last thing we talked about was sure plans about the future. Sure plans, that means you know that something is going to happen. You made a plan for it, right? It's not a surprise. You know exactly what's going to happen. You are certain, you are sure of it. And please do not get confused by the question form. If you ask it in the question form, you are still asking about a plan, right? Yes, you don't know if the person has a plan or not, but that is what you are asking about. You are asking about, do you have a plan for what I just asked you, right? So that's why we can still use it in that way. Time flies when we are having fun. Yes, it does, Paolo. The time definitely flies when you're having fun. And it freezes, right, when you're not. Karim is studying with his students. Yes, that's a good sentence too. I'm going on a diet. Very good. So I have to drink a bottle of water before opening Food AF channel and watching Karim cooking. Very good. Yes. The amount, the degree, the size, the speed increases or grows. Yes, JB, that's good. You're getting it very well. All right, awesome. So let's get you guys to do some exercises. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so let's see what we have. I think I already opened the exercise somewhere over here. Oh, before we do the exercise, so last week's movie quote. A lot of you, thank you very much. A lot of you answered in the comment section down below the video. So last week's quote was this, right? So it was chicka chicka yeah, fake ID. I always laugh when I say that. And yes, all these people answered correctly, right? So this is from the movie, which is called Superbad, which is this movie right here, right? So Superbad, it's a very cool movie. It's funny, it's fun, it's light, and it became very, very popular when it came out. And it's a good movie, right? It's a nice, fun movie to watch. Lots of good quotes from that movie. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Right? It's a cool movie. Yeah, and the people who got it right, Patricia, you were first to answer. Very well done. Jacqueline was a very close second. Dashti Adel also answered, and Julian, of course, also answered. So very well done, you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A virtual high five. You did very well. Okay, so remember, stick to the end of the class. After we do the exercises, I will show you this week's quote. And this week's quote is from a movie that I love. So, so wait for that. All right, let's see. All right, so what am I going to get you guys to do? Let's choose a good exercise here. All these exercises have huge pictures. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all these. Oh, here we go. All right, let's do this. So this is the exercise I'm going to give you guys, and let's see what it says. It says complete the sentences about the future in either the present simple or the present continuous, right? So remember, so this is going to take some of the things that we did last week plus the new stuff that we did this week. So be careful. Don't fall for the tricks. So one more time, complete the sentence about the future in either the present simple or the present continuous. So here, for example, it says what time, and then you have to use the movie and start, and you can say, or you can see that this is a question, right? So what time does, right? Does the movie start? All right, so I'll let you guys do this, and I'll be back in about, you guys are good. I think a minute is enough for you guys. You should be able to do this, no problems. Okay, I'm gonna take myself out. Whoosh. I really like that song a lot. Okay, so I've been looking at your answers, and you guys are doing awesome, as usual. You know, I'm starting to feel like, I'm starting to see why Sean likes making you guys get wrong answers. It might be fun sometimes. No, but really, you guys are doing a good job. So let's see what the first one is. All right, so the first one we have where you go and tonight. Let me first make a copy because I cannot type here. Garima says, oh, Google Drive has encountered an error. Okay, let's refresh. Come on, Google. We need you. No, it's not going to happen. I don't know what's going on. Google has decided to have technical problems right now. See, this is the dark side of technology. Technology is beautiful, by the way, and I'm a huge technology geek, but this is the dark side. Okay, no problem. Let's see what else can we do here. Let's do this. Okay, so I'll just open it here on this text document. Let's just try one more time. It's not working. Nope, I think there's a problem with Google. Okay, so anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll just use this page, and I'll write the answers for you guys right here. Can you see it? I'm not sure if you guys can see it. I think you can see it like this, right? You guys can see this half. It just doesn't want to make a copy for some reason. Just refusing to make a copy. Oh, there we go. Yay, finally. Okay, don't need this. Where is it? So right there. Okay, so let's go. So where you go, and tonight, a lot of people got this exactly right. Very well done. Where are you going tonight? 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 Everybody, really, all of you, I think, wrote it correctly. So yeah, Rosa, Julian, Patricia, JB, Jacqueline, Paolo, Julian, Garima, everybody did this. So yes, you guys, this is the answer, right? Next one says class finish and then at 12 p.m. Class finish and at and 12 p.m. So where is it? C, C, C. C. Class starts at 12 p.m. The class is finishing at 12 p.m. Well, okay, I see where, okay. The class is finishing at 12 p.m. Some of you have different answers for this. The class is finishing. A lot of you are saying the class is finishing at 12 p.m. Class finish at 12. Okay, so I see some of you, but I know why some of you are confused here. So the actual answer for this is class finishes at 12. And that's because if you think about it, classes usually have a fixed schedule, right? So every day it happens at the same time, it finishes at the same time. So that's why I would say class finishes at 12. But to make things very clear also, because you guys are not technically wrong if you understand what you are saying. So for the people that said the class is finishing at 12, that's not wrong if you are only talking about this class, right? So if you're talking about the very specific class that you're talking about right now, then yeah, you can say that. But the reason why it makes more sense to say class finishes at 12 is because classes usually are the same every day, right? It doesn't matter what day it is, right? It always starts at the same time, usually always finishes at the same time. So that's why we said it this way. I hope that makes sense. The class, yes, some people, yes. So JB saying the class finishes at 12. And yes, some of you said the class starts. I don't know where you got the word starts from. It's not here. but yeah, some of you said the class starts at 12. All right, D says, I'm sorry I can't study with you after school because I, and then C, and my doctor. I'm sorry I can't study with you after school because I, C, and my doctor. So a lot of you said, I am seeing my doctor. I'm going to see my doctor. I am seeing my doctor. Where are you? Where else is D? I'm going to see my doctor. Yes. Very good. So, right. So most of you said I'm going, right? Or you can say I am seeing my doctor, right? If you said I'm going to see my doctor, that's perfectly fine too, right? That's no problems with that. But yeah, I am seeing my doctor is what most of us wanted to say here. Last one says the plane leave at 11:35 a.m. tomorrow morning. And you guys said, where is it? Okay. The plane is leaving at 11:35 a.m. tomorrow morning. The plane lives. Jacqueline, you wrote lives, which means the opposite of death, right? So you wanted leaves, I think, which is L-E-A-V-E-S, not lives, L-I-V-E-S. The plane leaves at 11:35 tomorrow morning. The plane leaves at, yes, everybody, yep. Very well done, you guys. So the plane leaves at 11:35 a.m. tomorrow morning. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so it's 4:08 now, so we are already past the hour, so I'm not going to drag this lesson out too long. So yeah, so thank you guys for coming today. I had fun as usual. Everybody was doing a great job, and I can see that most of you, or almost all of you, I think, got this. We had a few confusions in the middle, but hopefully we answered those questions. I hope nobody is confused about anything right now. Yeah, so please don't forget, right? We want to beat Sean. So let's increase this number here, right? So let's beat Sean's number. You can add me on the Facebook. So this is my Facebook. It's Karim Smrt Live, same as my YouTube channel, same as the Instagram, same as the Twitter. And please don't forget to go check out my Food AF cooking channel, right? So I try to make a video every week as much as I can, sometimes more, but I try to make a video a week, right? So if you like food, please go check me out over there and subscribe to me over there, please, right? Maybe I can add the numbers and then feel like I'm beating Sean's subscriber number. Melinda says, thank you. I love this class. Awesome. That's all I wanted, Melinda. I hope, I'm happy that you enjoyed the class. That's all I care about, really. Thank you very, very much. So, quotes. So this week's quote, you guys, is, all right, so here's this week's quote. So I'll act out the quote, and you guys try to tell me what it is. Remember, if you're going to tell me the movie, don't tell me now, and don't tell me in the chat, because after the stream finishes, I can't see the chat box anymore, right? So if you want to answer what the movie is, please answer it in the comment section below the video. So here we go. So let's see if I can do this accent. Might give you a hint. Go on, put the kettle on. Sugar. Now thank you, Turkish. I'm sweet enough. All right, one more time, right? Go on, put the kettle on. Sugar. Now thank you, Turkish. I'm sweet enough. And that's it. So please, if you know, comment down below what movie is this quote from. And it is one of my favorite movies ever. So so I hope you guys get it, because it's a cool movie, right? You should, if you have not seen it, you should watch it. And that's been, I think that's been pretty much it for, or that's going to be all of what I'm going to do today. So thank you guys so much. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the reminder button if you want to see all my videos, or if you want to get notifications before the new stream comes out. Subscribe to my Facebook, my YouTube, my other food channel over here, and have a great week until I see you again. So yeah, so until I see you next time, good morning, good evening, and good night, and have a great day. Shapow. And boom. Oh, I didn't go anywhere. One more time, one more time. There we go.